What's up, Visuals fam, and welcome to a new video on a piece of tech that I have not actually reviewed in quite a while. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very affordable and feature-packed 144Hz monitor from AOC that I picked up on Amazon for just 144 bucks at the time of purchasing, of course. But did I get a quality product for this small of a price tag? Stick around and find out. Let's go. Alright guys, so a couple of you have brought this to my attention about URCD key, and you are correct, there is a bit of an issue on their website with the payment options. So what you're going to have to do is go down to the bottom right where you see their customer service window, and you'll have to purchase the Windows 10 Pro OEM key from that link that you see in there and use that promo code that they give you. My promo code will not work for this, and once you check out, you'll notice everything works just fine. I know the little link for it looks kind of funky, but it does work. They're just encountering a little bit of a payment issue with the US right now, so that's probably why that's happening. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and hopefully you are able to use the ad still and get your keys like you wanted. Alright, let's get right into the C24G1's box and see what's inside. In the box of this monitor, you get the power cable, an HDMI cable, a DisplayPort cable, and of course, the owner's manual. Now, let's get this thing put together. Assembly is very easy and does not require a single tool to accomplish. Very cool. The back has VESA mounting holes for mounting to an arm if you want, but we'll just be sticking with the stock stand today. All you have to do is take the swivel arm piece, make sure it's lined up with the mounting holes, and press down until it snaps in. Just as easily, you take the base and simply place it together with the arm and tighten the wing nut. That's it. So 10 out of 10 for easy installation. Good job, AOC. So now that we got it assembled, let's take a look at its looks. So in the looks department, this 24-inch monitor actually looks really good with a desk setup. It has very thin bezels, clean lines, and a fairly muted aesthetic with just a hint of that gamer red color that pretty much every gaming monitor seems to have for whatever reason. Most of it seems to be made of ABS plastic, but it feels pretty darn sturdy nonetheless. Speaking of sturdy, the stand has crazy long feet that extend out to keep the arm and panel upright. The arm can raise up or down, swivel side to side, and tilt up or down. Now, it cannot turn all the way to one side though, but you know, it's a curved monitor, so I honestly don't know why you'd want to do that anyway. Speaking of that curve, let's talk about it. So this monitor features a 1500R curve that honestly, I thought these kind of things were just a little bit of a gimmick when they first came out, but after using this one and giving it a shot, I actually kind of understand what they're talking about now. I can see how putting 3 of these together like right around you can create some kind of crazy surround effect and make your games even more immersive. And this one just by itself does a great job of that if you sit the right distance away from it. Now let's move on to the C24G1's connectivity. On the back, you have 2 HDMI 1.4s, which is great for connecting it to other things if you want to do that. But if you want to use 144Hz refresh rate, it will not work through this, what I've found, because it sets it at 60Hz by default. And if I go into my NVIDIA control panel, I was able to set it to 120Hz, which in fact is actually my max my laptop can handle, so it works great for that. But if your laptop is similar to that, it could be a good option for your primary monitor. But if you're looking to use it just without 144Hz, you may want to use a DisplayPort, which brings me to the next connectivity option is DisplayPort, and that is what you will use to be your main display out to your graphics card, so you can take advantage of that 144Hz refresh rate, and I can attest that it works flawlessly. Lastly, you have a VGA port and a 3.5mm audio out, which is the only way I found really that you can use the sound on this monitor, as it didn't seem to have onboard speakers from what I could tell. If it does, somebody leave it in the comments because I couldn't make it work. Back to that 3.5mm jack, I'm really not sure why you'd want to use this because you'd normally just connect to your computer anyway, but for people who may need that, it's there. Now how about the refresh rate, or how many frames per second a screen can compute? The C24G1 features a refresh rate of 144Hz once again, which has pretty much become the standard these days for a gaming monitor, and it creates a very smooth gaming experience if you have the hardware to drive it. Oh, and this monitor also features FreeSync, and with that it is G-Sync compatible. So all you have to do is go to your NVIDIA control panel and click enable if you're using an NVIDIA card, and if you happen to be using an AMD card, FreeSync will usually be enabled by default right out of the box. And as I always say about high refresh rate monitors, once you try one, you'll never go back. So give it a shot. Now let's move over to the G1's response time, or how long it takes for a black pixel to become white and back again. So screens with a VA panel usually have the highest response time by default, which is bad, about 5 milliseconds, meaning that with these monitors you are most effective by motion blur usually. But with this particular VA panel, this goes right out the window because we have a response time of 1 millisecond. Now let's talk about the panel's image quality. So this monitor features a VA panel once again, which is pretty much a good average between an IPS and a TN panel. So the color range is close to an IPS panel, and the viewing angle is slightly smaller than that of an IPS screen, but larger than that of a TN monitor. Since this particular monitor is curved, it kind of bridges the gap between this and an IPS panel because it gives it that surrounding effect if you sit the right distance away from it. Now where VA gaming monitors like this one especially excel is in contrast ratio. So that's the difference between light and dark, and it's very visible on this type of screen, and this could give a certain advantage in darker parts of competitive games. And while I was playing, I felt maybe that it was, you know, it could give you some kind of competitive edge, but it's nothing crazy, and I wouldn't buy the monitor just for that. Now as far as colors and calibrating this monitor, I took it through a quick calibration in Windows and tried my best to get it as close to what I prefer as possible. I personally think that for a VA panel, it looks pretty dang accurate, but you can definitely see where it falls short when you put it next to my LG IPS display that is made especially for color correcting. You can see that it's a little more dim and dull, losing some of the vibrance you should see in the photo that I'm showing here. And again, this monitor isn't made for color correction, but I just wanted to point this out just in case someone was thinking that they could also, you know, use this for 144 Hz gaming and, you know, video editing and color correcting and stuff like that. I would not use it for this purpose just because the colors are a little bit washed out. Now let's move on to the menu system. So the menu of this monitor can be turned on in the bottom right of the panel, and it has 4 little indicators right next to the power button. So the menu is very straightforward and actually looks very good too, as it is in full color and fully explains all of your options. This is where you can enable the monitor's FreeSync capabilities and make sure that you're in that low input lag mode so you have a super smooth gaming experience no matter what. Speaking of gaming, what is this monitor like to game on? Well, I spent about a week just using this monitor as my main monitor, and I have to say, it's actually really good for how cheap it is, you guys. I played some Need for Speed Heat on it for the first time, and I absolutely love the colors and the responsiveness of this panel when playing a driving game that requires very fast movements. I didn't notice any ghosting at all, and I really just had a very immersive experience. And I know I said the colors were a little washed out earlier, but in gaming, I didn't really see that. So same could be said for Counter-Strike, and I'd have to say, if you're getting into esports like this game, a monitor such as this is pretty much a must for you to get started to have that really smooth, fluid experience. And again, I didn't notice any weird blurriness or choppiness thanks to the G-Sync compatible and FreeSync doing its job. So the reason I really like where this monitor stands in the market right now is because it's very competitive price for one, the features that put it right up there with higher end gaming monitors, and colors that are right in between the more washed out TN panels and the vibrant IPS panels. Now, of course, I want to make sure I get this out of the way. Since it's been a couple of weeks since I purchased this monitor, it's no longer selling for that $144 like when I purchased it. It's back up to its original price of $209 or $219, but even at that price, I believe it's still worth your money and it's a great buy. But I've actually linked this monitor and a couple other options down in the description for you guys so you can easily find them and try to compare and choose the one that fits you best. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one. So let's go ahead and transition to family time. So today's family time comment comes from Planet Liz, and she left a very nice and, to be honest, a very long comment. So I'm literally just going to read it to you guys. She says, "Exactly what I've been looking for my Yeti. Thank you, and thank you, Tonor. I'd swear we had precisely the same flimsy old arm. Slowly inches its way toward the surface edge. If not careful, both the flimsy old arm and your Yeti could crash to the ground. Hours and hours on Amazon last 3 days searching for just this sort of setup. One I can entrust to cradle my Yeti. You shouldn't have to be preoccupied with slippage. You should be preoccupied with your work." I agree. Love all the extras like the reinforcement straps and the awesome hook for your cans. Way to go, Tonor. These guys know what's going on and they put much thought into their excellent product. Ordering now, can't wait, thanks. First off, you're very welcome. I'm so glad that you and so many others have found that video helpful and have been so awesome about leaving me feedback on it as well. Funny story, it is actually now my top performing video on the channel, which is why I wanted to read this comment and it stuck out to me. And I wanted to thank you all for your support on that video once again, because it has been pretty crazy. I can never really predict which videos that I make will do well, and I honestly never thought in a million years it would be this one. But either way, thank you guys so much for blowing up the video, and I hope you guys all enjoy that boom arm. But that's all for today, so if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, be sure to give the video a like, and if you really enjoy my content and you want to see more, make sure to get subscribed with those notifications on so you never miss a new stream or a new upload when they go live. Take care everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.